Hello, everyone. Welcome to the game development webinar. I'm billsedison. This is a part 2 of the game development with using the Cocos Creator. So let's quickly recall what we did in the part 1. What is Cocos Creator? Cocos Creator is a complete package of game development tools and workflow, including a game engine. We have to build a game based on the game engine and resource management, scene editing, game preview, debug, and publish this project to multiple platforms. Actually, Cocos Creator supports to publish the game to as a website, a web app, or on the mobile platform like iOS and Android, or even on the some minigame platform like Facebook minigame and WeChat minigame, etc. So it supports a lot of platforms. It means you just need to write code once, and it can be published everywhere. So it's a very amazing platform. So what is a game is composed of? A game, you can see the game with a sprite, with images, with sound. So there are some design assets included in the game. Also, the game includes the script. We have to use the script to control all the design assets to assign some behavior to them and to make the game play. So let's quickly recall what we have learned in the part 1 of the webinar. So what is a Cocos Creator? So Cocos Creator is a complete package of game development tools and workflow, including a game engine. We need to develop a game based on the game engine. It did a lot of low-level things for us. And resource management and scene editing, game preview, debug, and publish. And we can publish this project to multiple platforms like the web app, the Android, iOS, or even some mini game platform, like we can publish our game to Facebook, we can publish our game to WeChat, etc. So it's amazing because you can write the code once and publish it everywhere. It's cross-platform. So what a game is composed of? When you play a game, you will see the avatar, see the visual things. All the visual things are composed of the design assets. So we have a design assets, including the sprites, images, sound, etc. And we also need to write code for it. The code is a script. So we can use a code to control the design assets behavior. And in Cocos Creator, we learned that the script is also a component. All the things are components. All the design assets are also components. Script is one of the special components. And for the script components, we have the lifecycle. So the lifecycle, the full lifecycle callbacks is onload, start update, later update, on destroy, on enable, on disable, etc. And mainly we use the 4 lifecycles. So when the script is created, we call the onload callback is invoked, and then the start is invoked, and then on every frame the update is invoked, and when the script component is destroyed, the onDestroyed is invoked, and the entire Cocos it organized the entire game with scene graph, or we can see it node tree. A scene graph is a root tree node of the entire game, and below it we can attach a lot of tree nodes here, so it organizes like a tree. So this is what we learned in the last webinar, and let's see what we did in the last webinar. In the last webinar, we built a very simple game. So it's running like this. Let's run it. So you see, you can use a purple monster and use the left and right key to move it. I moved it too slowly, so it's game over. And we can restart it. Use a purple monster to pick the star. The star will randomly appear on the screen. And if you can pick it before it disappears, you can continue. If you don't, the game is over. And let's see what we'll do in this webinar. So this is a computer game. Yeah, we will polish the game we built in the last webinar and make it more fancier. So you see we add a start button for play and add some hints. Also, when you click the star, you see there are some text jumping off. There's some special effects. So this is what we will do. Okay, let's switch back to the previous, oh sorry. Let's switch back to the previous project and let's start with it. Before we start, I would like to introduce the coordinate system of Cocos. Cocos is a 2D game engine, so the string coordinate system, the original point is on the top left, but the Cocos coordinate system, the original engine is on the bottom left, so it's a difference. That's the only difference. And what you will learn in this part is about node pool. Node pool is a mechanism that when you instantiate a lot of objects, it is a very resource consuming. You can put them in the node pool and you can save your resources. You will improve the performance of the game. And you will also learn how to create an animation. And you can learn how to create the sprite frame. So what is a sprite frame? Yeah, you must see that in the complete game, in the polished version of the game, when you pick the star, you will see explode effect like this. So the sprite frame is just a series of these pictures. When you play it faster, you can see the explosion effect. So this is a sprite frame. It's also kind of animation. We can say it's a keyframe animation. Okay, first of all, we need to add a button to make, when we click it, the game starts. So now the game starts automatically when you run the game. Yeah, you start automatically. Then we need to create a button. The button is a UI node. You can see we created a button. We can name it like button start. Actually, when you create a button, by default, it attaches some action nodes. We don't need it, so we can delete it. But you can see the button because the target is missing, and We can drag the button as a target. Also, we need to add a new component. It's about the rendering component is a sprite. So to define how the button looks like, we have a texture called button play. So the button will look like this. So just to put the button in the right position. And the transition means when you're hovering the button, there will be some colors cover on it. And we don't write any line of code. You can just see how it works. Yeah. You see the button looks like this. When you hover it, some color changes is defined by these transition colors. Okay, now we need to write a code. Yeah, to make the button. I don't have a trigger, sorry. Yeah, we need to write a code to use a button to start the game, not just make it start automatically. And then what we need to do is write a new function like start game. And we can put these two on the start game. Then we reset the score and spawn a new star, so the game is restarted. And then we need to switch back to the Cocos Creator. Yeah, what we have to do is to use the button. When we click the button, we want to trigger. So how can we do it? You see there's a click event. When you click the button, we can add one click event. We click the button and you can trigger something. So the first one, we need to find a node on it. So the node is canvas. Oh, sorry. Find a node. The node is canvas. Oh, something wrong with my mouse. Sorry. Yeah. And then we can select the attached component on it. You know, the component is script. And what we are editing is the game here is attached in this node as a script component. And then we can select a function. We need to select this one. We just write the start game on it. And let's play. Something wrong, so yeah, looks like we need to init a lot of things here. Yeah, what we have to do is to, yeah, because we define the game running boolean, so we have to define it be false by default. Only when we start a game, it should be true. Okay, let's try again. How it work? It's not working. Why? Because when we click the button, the start game works, but looks like we have to do some other things. So let's, yeah, sorry, because I it's been 1 month long. I don't quite familiar with the code right now. I need to go through it and see what should happen. Yeah, we spawn a new star and the game is running. If the game is not running, we don't need to update anything. Just return. We spawn a new star. So the start duration comes here and we can gain the score. Yeah, it looks like it's all good. Oh yeah, I forget another thing. When we press the start game, the button should disappear. Yeah, but we can do it later. Yeah, for the player, looks like we also need to adjust it. When it to start, yeah, we need to run this action. Yeah, we need to set this action, but I think we don't need to run it. Because running should only be done after the game starts. So let's use another, like on game start. Yeah, we can move this to here. And it should be called when the game is start. So let's call this. Yeah, we can get to the player at on game start. Yeah, maybe we can do some better stuff like player component. And we can initialize the player component with this. Yeah, it's on game start. Also, we can check game start. All right, and let's go through the code and see what else we need to do. So for now, it looks okay. We can click on start here, and let's see stars. Let's see stars. Anything to do? Yeah, looks like for stars is okay. And let's go back here and run again and see what will happen. Yeah, you see, it's running, right? It's running. The next thing is when we click on this play button, we need it to be this here. Then how should we do it? So one tricky thing is, if we want it to be disappear, we just need to set it out of the screen. So first of all, we can use a node to bind it. So use a node to bind to the start button. You can start node, like it should be a system node. By default is now. And then you can check the screen. Yeah, you see there's an empty node, the btn start node, and we just drag it here. And this variable is binded, the button. And when you start, what we need to do? Yeah, like we can just make it out of the screen, so we can set the x or coordinates of the button to be resultant. Now it should be out of screen. Let's do it again. Yeah, it's cool. The game is started, right? Okay, so it's game over. Yeah, we did our first task. So the second task is about when we pick when we pick the star, we want to see the +1 text. So how can we do it? Yeah, for doing this, we need to create a prefab for it. So for creating a prefab, we need to just create an empty node. Yeah, we can put the empty node here. We can name the node like a score fx. And inside the empty node bar, yeah, we can create another node just for animation. Let me see if there are any animation node. Looks no. So we just like any. And here we can create the animation. So for here, there should be a animation clip. So how can we create an animation clip? Yeah, I will show you later. Before creating an animation clip, we need to create two other visual components. One is a label. The node with the label. Yeah, the label is for showing the score. Yeah, so just name it as a score. So you see, this is one we did, and it should be like the +1 something. Yeah, like +1, and we can assign a better font address to it. Let me check which one should be assigned to it. Okay, let's just use a color to be yellow, like this one. Yeah, be yellow. And for the font, yeah, I remember we had this font. So what we need to do is just drag the font here. So we change the font. Okay, for now it's good. And we need to create another node, is a sprite node. Sprite actually is a kind of image, and the Sprite node like explosion is for the explosion effect. And we need to add the sprite frame, but it's not in the assets right now. So what we can do is just simply drag the effects from here to here. So we added the effects. Okay, now you see the sprite frame, and now the default sprite where we can just use a sprite like this. Yeah, we need to adjust the level. Now the sprite is covered on the score. It's not expected. We need to adjust it, make the score is above on the explosion sprite effect. Okay, it's cool. And then what we need to do is to create an animation. So to create an animation, we need to create an animation clip. You can create it in the timeline. Timeline tab. And it's just here, so we can give the animation a name like we want the score pops up, and now we can add the animation. Okay. Yeah, you see the node tree of the animation here. And for the animation, there's a timeline like, and we can add time and some animation on it. So what we need to do for the score, you see, is represent the text, and we want to adjust its position. So I can add a property position here, and this is the first frame. We can insert a keyframe. For now, we want the position. You see the current position is 0. So it's fine. And like in the 10 seconds, we want this pops up. Want it pops up to a new position, for example, 40. So you will jump like this. Looks like 40 is not enough. Maybe 100. Yeah, 100 looks better. So we created an animation. You see. When you play it, you can see, yeah, it pops up. So when it pops up, we want it will fade out. So how can we do it? Add another property called a opacity. Insert a keyframe. The current opacity is 255. It is a full opacity, and yeah, but we want to the display disappear start from like 4 seconds, and in the last second we want the opacity to be 0, so it will disappear. And you can see it fade out. Yeah. And one more thing is about why the explosion is not here. It looks like we have done a basic animation, and now we can jack it as a prefab also. Yeah, we have done a basic animation like this, but something is weird with my editor. I will restart it. Yeah. Okay, it's good. So there were some bugs of it. Now we can see the explosion node. Yeah, for the explosion node, we need to create the sprite frame, like the keyframe animation. So how can we do it? For the keyframe animation, yeah, we just want this play the keyframes. So in the like 2 or 3 seconds, we can drag it here. Yeah, we see a picture right now. Again, we can drag it here, drag a new keyframe, and then adjust its frame. So what we need to do is just set all these keyframes here to make them close enough. Yeah. Yeah, when you use the keyframe, okay. So looks like I have inserted this keyframe. You cannot insert the keyframe twice. Yeah, you can see the explosion. And we also want when it exploded, it will disappear completely, so we can adjust it with the opacity property. Yeah. All right. So like in here, we can set the opacity to 250, the full opaque, and around here, it will disappear completely. We can insert a keyframe to adjust the opacity to 0. Okay, let's see how the animation looks like. It looks like this. Yeah, so we have done an animation. You see the explosion effect, and the score text pops up. It's cool, right? And then what do we need to do? Looks like something starts here. Yeah, we need to save and close. Okay. And we want to reuse this scar effect as much as we can. So we can jack it here to make it to be a prefab. So this is a prefab. To be a prefab, we can double click it and edit it further if we want. Yes, to control the prefab, we need to write a new script for it. So let's create a new script named like score fx. Okay, and double click. So for the score fx, what we need to do is to control the animation. So is an animation here. So, and we also want to get a reference of the game instance. So we don't need this. And we want it to play the animation. And play. But what it does is the name is the score pop. So we can use score pop to play the animation. And we need to add the component here. Yeah, you see the animation is right here. And this is the animation because you see it has an animation component and we just need to jack it here. So it has a method called play, and we want to define another merchant to associate it with a game instance. Yeah, meanwhile, we want to write another script for the animation component. We can call it like a score any. So it's a score any. Yeah, we can rename the class name to the score any. Oh, looks we forgot to rename it like score fx. So this is score any. So for score any, we need to initialize the score fx or fx, the score fx, okay. And we need to define a property for this. That for now is good. And in the score fx, we can get the component, the score, score any, we can call it init. Yeah, then we are done with the score fx. And next we need to associate it when we pick the star. So what we need to do is to find where we pick the star. Yeah, we need to go back to the game, go back to the script and see where the star is picked. There's spawn a new star and should be in the player or something. Oh no, it's not here. Okay, there is our name called Tom picked. It looks we can write something here. Oh no, basically it should be right on the game score because the effect is triggered when the game when you gain a score or gain points. So let's go back to the game score. Yeah. So in the game score, first of all, we need to write a function called spawn the score fx. So what are we going to do? First, we need to associate the prefab. To associate the prefab, we can define a new property called type of prefab, and we can call it the score fx prefab. Yeah, I think I need to explain why we need to add the property. Only we add the property is provided by Cocos Creator if you add this property, and the Cocos editor can recognize it, and you can see the your newly added property appears here. If you don't add the property, it won't appear here. So we have a prefab, and we need to associate the prefab here. Yeah, now we associate it here. And now we need to instantiate the prefab. So we can write some code here. Instantiate this prefab. And actually we are not quite focused on the prefab itself, we focus on this component. The component should be the score fx. Yeah, when you write here, you will import the score fx automatically. And you can use the score fx init. And you can return the score fx. All right. So here we can spawn a new score fx and add the node of the score fx to the scene, and we need to set the position of the score fx. So what the position should be? It should be somewhere. So when we get score, we need to parse some position from outside, I think. And we can call play to play the fx. Okay, let's see where we gain the score, and we need to pass a position here. Yeah. So what position we should pass from here? It should be the start position, right? So when it's unpicked, we can get the start position because you see the start FX. Okay, looks like we're almost done. And see how it works. Okay, open is wrong. Oh, something wrong. Let's see what happened. Okay, it says cannot read the init from now. Let's see how can we debug it. Yeah, it's from the game.js. You see, oh, it's from the scorefx.js. What we wrote is a scorefx of TS, but it will be compiled to the scorefx.js, and you see the compiled codes like this, and we can see what is the 15. Oh, you don't get the component score any. Okay, so let's see what happened. Yeah, we can remove the prefabs here and see. Oh, yeah, we don't associate the enemy clips here, and we don't associate the score earnings here. And it should be lowercase. Oh, sorry, it should be here. Okay, it should be lowercase because the script name is lowercase. All right. All right, let's start again. Yeah. You can see the animation when you pick the star, right? This is the animation what we did. Yeah, maybe the animation is too fast when we can adjust it. So make it longer. You can make the position longer. Something wrong. Oh, it's too long, I think. Let's see how it looks like. Looks like much better, right? And we save and be back. Yeah. And you can see this effect. Okay. And then for now, we want to add the when the game over, we want to play the game. So how can we do it? So when the game's over, what we need to do is to set the start node back. Set it here, and let's see. Okay. Oh. So some other things weird because we just send it back, but the previous status is not reset. Maybe we can use load scene to load the scene again instead of starting here, and let's see how it will happen. Okay. Yeah, but it looks like load scene is still not that good. Yeah, what we need to do is to reset the player's position, and we can reset it. Yeah, let's see what is the initial position. The initial position is 120. Negative 120. Yeah, maybe it should be good. Let's see. Yeah. It should be good. But we see there are 2 stars. So we cannot do the 2 stars basic mountain right now. Okay, the next step is about the node pool. So for the node pool, why we need node pool? Let's go back to here. So we can search the node pool on Cocos. Okay, look, some network pieces. The node pool is to reuse the instantiated prefab as much as possible. So if we can reuse it, we don't need to instantiate it. Instantiate is a very heavy operation. Then how can we do it? First of all, we need to define a node pool. So we can just define it like this. We have 2 stars need to be instantiated. One is start, the other is a score fx. So when we unload it, we need to instantiate it. Like you see, there's node pool. We can name it like a star pool. And the score fx pool, we can name it as score fx pool. And then how can we reuse it? So when we spawn a new star, yeah, we need to make it be left. First, when we spawn a new star, we can firstly check if we still have remaining in the pool. If so, it's cool. And we can use a new star, just to get the new star from the pool. To get, okay. If not, then let's initiate it from prefab. Then we can do this. So, but we need to put the prefab from the to the pool. So when should we put it? There you see, when the star is picked, you will spawn a new star. So instead of spawn a new star, so before spawn a new star, we can put the original star to the pool. So when it's unpicked, we can do it. So how should we do it? Like we can define a new function called spawn a new star. So firstly, we need to add the star to the pool. Then call the spawn new star. So before we spawn the new star, we add the star to the pool. So if the pool size has something, we can reuse the star. So it's cool, and we need to call change the core of the spawn new star to respawn new star and pass itself node into it. Then we complete the reuse. Let's see if it will work correctly. Oh no, something wrong. Let's see what happened. Oh, let's replay it and see what's happened. Yeah. Okay, it says this star pool is not a function. What we did wrong, we call it. Oh yes, we should put. Okay, let's do again. Yeah, but something wrong, you see. We don't get a star. So what happened? So it looks like the star is not put correctly. Oh, I think because we reuse a star and we might change its opacity or something. So, oh, it has been destroyed. Yeah, that's the reason. It has been destroyed. So if we need to reuse a star, we should not destroy it. Okay, let's do it again. Yeah. You see, we can reuse the star from the pool. So basically, we can also reuse the score FX. Yeah, but it's a bit late now, so I will skip the code to reuse the score FX flow. Actually, basically, it's similar. Okay, then we are good today. We have learned the node pool, how to use the node pool to put the node in the pool instead of instantiate it, and we learned how to create an animation and a keyframe animation. Okay, thank you. Any questions?
We don't have any questions yet. I think people will ask the questions on the YouTube link where we post the video later. So I would say thank you and
Okay, thank you.
thanks, Will. Thanks a lot.